TruckVin.com podcast. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Can't believe it's almost the end of March already. We're excited that you guys are here. We're going to run through who exactly TruckVin.com is, what we do, why you should sell your truck to TruckVin.com, and a few other things. Make sure you tune in, whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Yelp, whatever it may be. Make sure you tune in.
Yeah, if you're watching on Yelp, I don't know how you got here, but glad you're here. All the truckers, everyone's wanting to know, what is TruckVin.com?
It's a great question. So TruckVin.com was founded because we found a niche in the market where fleets, owner-operators, and leasing companies were constantly left with two options. Either trade their equipment back into the dealer and take a low-ball offer, or they were taking their equipment to the auction, which even with a reserve number is still an unknown. They're using pre-forecasted numbers. The market may change. There's so many different unforeseen circumstances. So we created TruckVin.com to be a cutting-edge platform that was strictly online, where we're able to close our transactions in a short amount of time, have an experienced sales staff that not only knows the market, but buys the market, analyzes the market. And we have numerous customers that have left various five-star reviews across Google, Facebook, Yelp, Better Business Bureau. So we're excited that you guys are here. We'll answer some more questions.
So say I'm a trucker or I'm a fleet owner and I want to sell some trucks.
Yeah.
I'm looking to get rid of them. What do I do? How do I go about the process? What is that like?
Yeah. So the process is really simple, and that's something that we really streamline here at TruckVin.com. We wanted to make the process as easy as possible for somebody. Nobody, number one, wants to wait. Number two, with recent study, we found that when people go online and they do research, they're going to make a decision in the next 36 hours. So whether somebody's going to buy a car, it's a review at a dealership, you're going to buy new clothes, you're taking your kid to a daycare, whatever it may be, when people go online, they're going to spend the next between 3, 6, 8 hours, whatever it may be. They're going to make a decision in the next 2 days. So with that being said, process number one is you can call 855-TRUCK-20, or you can go to TruckVin.com and submit your information. We need 5 pieces of information: year, make, model, miles, and asking price. As soon as the information's submitted, it'll go directly to my buy team. We'll call you for any additional information, including engine, transmission, sleeper size, stuff like that, general condition. Secondly, we'll make an offer that is good for 7 days in writing based upon inspection. So as soon as you sign that offer, it's good for 7 days. If you need time to wait, talk it over with your family member, talk it over with a business partner, we can do that. If you're ready to make a decision on the spot, we can also do that as well. Third thing is we'll order a third-party inspection. We've got various companies that we use. They'll fly out there, look at condition of the truck, oil leaks, check engine lights, tires, brakes, after-treatment system, stuff like that. The inspection 24 hours later is uploaded, and then after that, we will either pay the lien holder direct or we'll pay you.
Okay, say I'm a fleet owner, I own 100 trucks, but I'm used to going to the auction with all my trucks, or I'm set in my ways. I know how to get rid of my trucks. I've done it for years. Why would I go to TruckVin.com instead of taking it to the auction?
Yeah, so there's a lot of clients that we've seen that like to take their trucks to the auction, whether it's for simplicity's sake and it's easier, whether they have the prehistoric values and they usually know what they'll get for their equipment, or maybe it's just a corporate decision because they have so many assets and they haven't found somebody like TruckVin.com that can purchase the sheer quantity that they have. With that being said, I think the easiest thing for a customer to do is say, hey, I can go drop all these trucks at the auction. They'll sell at whatever price they sell at. 2, 3, 4 weeks later, we receive a check in the mail. With TruckVin.com, along with a simplified process, we're able to take all of your equipment. So per se, you have a Excel spreadsheet of 50 trucks and you need pricing on all of them. You send the year, make, model, miles. We'll put offer on all the equipment based upon inspection or stated terms. And a lot of guys say, well, I want to sell them as is. And that's an option, right? So if you're watching this and you own, say, 50 trucks, 100 trucks, 200, 300, and you say, hey, I usually sell my equipment as is. I don't want to do anything. We can help you there. If you want to sell your equipment on road-ready DOT terms, we can do that as well. Or if you say, hey, I'll bring them up to dealer trade term spec, we can also help with that. But, with that being said, there was so many different things that we set out to do with this company, but we wanted to make sure that customers knew they had a secondary option, and not only having an option, but had everything in writing. Because the truth is, when you take your trucks to the auction, you don't know what you're going to get for them. And even if your reserve is set at $25,000, you have additional fees, You have admin fees, commissions, lot fees, if the trucks are washed, if they're fixed, flat tires, whatever the case may be. There's always additional costs, and that's something a lot of fleets or even single owner operators don't add in. So when you take your stated price from the auction and then you add in the fees plus the commission, plus most of the time the auctions are anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks out, and then it's going to take another week or two for you to get paid, you're looking at 6 weeks. Why would you pay to sell your own equipment?
No, absolutely. For those fleet managers out there also, what kind of trucks are you preferring to buy right now?
So majority of what we currently buy is 2014 and newer. I always tell my sales staff it's 7 and 7, so 7 years or newer, under 700,000 miles. We'll go back as far as 2007. Specialty stuff such as boom trucks, dump trucks, beverage trucks, steak trucks, box trucks, stuff like that. We'll look at on a case-by-case scenario, but majority of our business is all sleeper cabs, day cabs, and dump trucks.
Sounds great. Tell me some more about the future of TruckVin. Are there new locations coming? Are you hiring? What's going on there? I know big things are coming.
Yeah, there's a lot of big things coming. So we've got our corporate office here in downtown Fort Worth, or right off of Summit Avenue in 10th, right here in the hospital district. We've got a little over 6,500 square feet here in Fort Worth. We've got 14 acres out in Weatherford off of FM 51 that houses a lot of our purchases from customers that are here in Texas or Oklahoma, Arkansas. We actually just opened another location up in Oklahoma as well that has 8 acres along with multiple sales offices. So there's a lot of different things coming. You know, our grand picture when we first set out was it was never about just purchasing trucks for us. It was about coming into a space where so many people were used to doing one thing and changing up the entire game. It's not about the money. It's not about saying, oh, I'm bigger than you. It's about setting out and having a goal to completely change the way that an industry thinks, change the way that an industry acts. And we've had really good luck with it. So along with additional locations, we're actually hiring additional buy team representatives. We're adding additional outbound remarketing. We're hiring for some back office accounting staff here in Fort Worth. Along with the Oklahoma location, we'll be adding some sales staff and outbound remarketing as well. So there's a lot of opportunity. You know, with that being said, I think a lot of customers do a lot of research. They want to know who they're dealing with, who they're talking to. I think anybody can pick up a phone and call you at the end of the day and say, hey, do you have any trucks for sale? But so many people these days look for a relationship. And that's something that me and my sales guys have found so often on the phone when we call somebody is, oh, you know, we trade them back into XYZ Peterbilt, or we trade them back into this Freightliner dealer, because they have a relationship with that guy. And I'll never tell anybody it's wrong to have a relationship, but I think that it's wrong that a customer doesn't know every option that he has to get rid of his equipment, not only to get the most money, but to close the transaction quicker, to have a constant avenue to buy his equipment. We don't have a space where we've gotten to where we can say, hey, you know what? We're at capacity right now. We can't buy any more equipment. Or, hey, you know what? We can't buy stated truck because of XYZ condition or because of this. If you have a payoff on your truck, we're more than happy to make your payoff, send you the additional credit. If you have your title in hand, it makes things even easier. But there's no other place that we know of that you can complete a transaction in 3 to 5 days, have your truck appraised with a written offer, have it inspected, and be paid in that short amount of time.
And your first year in business, doing good so far?
Yeah, so our first full year in business was phenomenal. You know, 2021 I think was a big year, like we talked about before. I think with all the things going on with COVID and new truck shortage and used truck shortage, and you know, now in 2022 inflation's going up and all the other things that may be going on. But nonetheless, we were really blessed to have the year that we did in 2021. We ended with 13 full-time employees, people that didn't have any prior experience in the industry, except for a few of them, and we've helped them not only grow and expand their thinking, but we've taught them about an industry that is so much larger than them and so much larger than what we do as a company. So we bought a lot of trucks. We made a lot of relationships with single truck guys that have sent us 1, 2, 3, 4 of their friends. We made relationships with fleets that run 40 trucks, 50 trucks, 60 trucks. And there's a lot of big things coming with that as well. But I think just overall expanding our footprint and what we currently do, a lot more advertising, a lot more social media. Jared actually does all of our social media, photography, videography, anything that you see online is usually backed by him. And we've been very, very aggressive on sharing not only the growth, the purchases that we have, but even now you'll see a couple times a month we'll be doing one of these right here in the TruckVin studio of what's going on in the industry. Much like this is exactly who we are, what we do, what we specialize in. You will be meeting with our sales staff. We'll be meeting with our outbound remarketing. We'll be meeting with our customers, and you're going to hear it directly from the horse's mouth of exactly how their experience was, both employees and customers. So I'm excited to share that with you.
Absolutely. And so there's this thing in the industry that we like to call a broker.
Yeah.
Isn't that right? And sometimes TruckVin.com is mistaken for a broker, but we're here to tell you that we're not. What's the difference between us and those brokers out there?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I think the word broker kind of came along, in the trucking industry for guys, that broker loads. But when I say broker, somebody on LinkedIn made a comment a while back, and I just responded with, we created StopTruckBrokers.org, and honestly, it was more of a joke than anything, but it's really something that we deal with in the industry. So basically, a truck broker is somebody that will sit in their office or sit at home and make just dozens and dozens of phone calls throughout the day and try to find equipment, much like we do. But the problem with them is they're committing to the equipment and stating to the fleet, hey, we'll buy the equipment. In the interim of that, the fleet thinks that they have the equipment sold and they don't. So then the broker's trying to find somebody to buy the equipment, right? So he's going out and trying to find a dealer to buy the equipment. If he can't find a dealer to buy the equipment, then he just leaves the customer hanging and never calls him back. Or even worse, they pay for the equipment, and then there's problems afterwards with the trucks, and the purchasing dealer that obviously was dealing with the broker is now stuck having to go back for recourse from the dealer, or from the fleet, because something went wrong. So, I think to really hit on that, there's a lot of different truck brokers out there, and I understand everybody has their own job, and they're all trying to make a living, but when you go out and you commit to purchasing equipment from a fleet, you're taking a piece of their business and them expecting that you're going to pay for it. If you can't pay for the equipment, then you shouldn't be calling the customer in the first place. Yeah. But it happens more times than not. Even, probably on a weekly basis, we see a list from a broker of 10, 15, 20 different trucks, and you call them and ask them for, invoice or title copy or where these trucks are sitting at, and everything's very vague. They don't have any grasp on what the deal is compiled of, and they don't have any grasp on when the units will be ready. They don't pay for them because they don't have the money to pay for them. So what I'll tell you, especially fleets, is you'll get a lot of phone calls throughout the day, but you need to make sure that the guy that you're talking to can pay for the equipment. The good thing with TruckVin.com is we just closed a large credit facility right here in downtown Fort Worth. So we've got our own money. We're not owned by a dealership. We're independently owned and operated. I'm not only the founder and president, but the sole operator as well. So if you talk to myself or you talk to any of my buy team representatives, when we give you an offer and we put it in writing, it's good for 7 days. So if you say, hey, you know what, on the 7th day, I want to buy or I want to sell this piece of equipment, we're here and we're ready to buy it. But don't be fooled by a truck broker that calls you and states that he has the money, and at the last minute, you're left hanging with the equipment. So I strongly encourage you, go to Google, go to Facebook, go to Yelp, go to Better Business Bureau, read our reviews, ask about us, whether you're in the Northwest, the Northeast, or here in the Southwest or Southeast. I strongly encourage you to do your research, ask about TruckVin.com.
Love it. So tell me about some of your plans in 2022.
Yeah, so 2022 is here. Obviously, it's almost the end of the first quarter, but we've got a lot of big things going on, along with adding additional locations, adding additional staff. We've increased our social media presence. We've increased our online advertising. We've increased a couple of other things that we're working on, including radio. So you may hear us on the radio, TruckVin.com, America's foremost truck buyer. Again, we're adding sales staff. Oh, God damn it. All right, try it again. Okay, that all lined up too. All right, you ready? Try it again.
So tell me a little bit more about your plans for 2022.
2022 has been incredible for us so far as well. It's almost the end of the first quarter. It's crazy to think that 3 months have already passed, and it seems like it was just yesterday. So we're adding additional locations. We're adding additional staff. We've increased our social media presence along with some advertising. So you'll see us on a few more avenues here in the upcoming months. But, with that said, I think so many of our staff and so many other people are calling and trying to purchase trucks. And so much of what we hear is we don't have any trucks. We usually trade them in. We're waiting on new trucks. We take them to the auction. We run them into the ground. But I'll tell you, as we get bigger and as we call more customers and as we have more experience, the things that you're going to find is TruckVin.com is rapidly growing. And again, we set out to do something that was unlike anybody else out there. So if you're sitting there and you have one truck you're ready to sell, feel free to reach out to us. If you have a fleet of trucks you're ready to sell and you say you have a competing offer from a dealer and they've given you something in writing, all we ask is to have a secondary choice and opportunity to put numbers on your trucks. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, then we completely understand. But make sure that you call TruckVin.com, 855-878-2520, or go to TruckVin.com. We've got a brand new website that's going to launch April 1st. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one.
Boom, boom, boom.
Hey, guys, what's going on? It's St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Hope you're wearing green. We're here with Zachary Ellis. Going to talk to him a little bit about TruckVin.com, how it came to be, and why you should sell your truck to TruckVin.com. So let's get right into it.
Thanks so much for tuning in. If you're watching on Facebook Live, YouTube, or Instagram, make sure you follow us on social media at TruckVin. We're on every platform: Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Yelp, Google+. All those avenues you can find us at. Thanks so much for watching.